In example 4, we are told that chord TV and chord WS are congruent to each other, and we're asked to find the measure of arc WS. Well, just above here we have a three-part theorem that allows us to interchangeably relate these features of circles. The first part says if we have congruent central angles, then the chords that are created by those central angles are congruent to each other. The second part says if we have congruent chords, then the arcs that go with those chords are congruent to each other. And then lastly, we can bring it back, if we have congruent arcs, then the central angles that are creating those arcs are congruent to one another. So those three items are pretty much interchangeable for each other. So we need to know that we have congruence, and it allows us to set any expressions that we have for the other parts equal to each other. And that's what we have here in example 4. Because we know that the two chords are congruent, the two arcs that are created by those chords must be congruent to each other as well. So we are justified in setting these two expressions, 9n minus 11 equal to 7n plus 11. And we'll solve this for n and ultimately substitute it back in to find the measure of the arc. So we can subtract 7n from both sides and add 11 to both sides. So we're 2n equals 22. Therefore, the n value is 11. And we'll substitute this back in. We're asked to find WS, but really it doesn't matter because both are equal. So to get the measure of arc WS, we're going to say 7 times 11 plus 11. Really, this is like 8 times 11, giving us 88 degrees for the measure of arc WS. For example 5, we're still using that same theorem. We're told that segment PT bisects angle RPS. We know that when a segment bisects an angle, that it creates two congruent angles. So we know that the two central angles are congruent. We are asked to find the length of chord RT, and from our three-part theorem above, if the central angles are congruent, the two chords that go with that central angle must also be congruent. So yes, we are justified in setting those two chord lengths, 6x, equal to 20 minus 4x. We're going to solve this for x, add 4x to both sides. Gives us 10x equals 20. So therefore x is 2. And we're asked to find the length of RT. So 6 times 2 gives us 12 units of length.